You're smart. You know how to listen to a suggestion and then make your own decisions, right? We're just two Aussie brothers talking shit about cryptocurrency. So do yourself a favor, research the topic before doing anything financially. Now for that banging intro music.
Welcome to WTF is Crypto Space. I'm Brett.
And I'm Chad.
This podcast is all about the crypto space.
It's shout out time!
So, Chad, we talked about an awesome ICO last week. We were chatting about that, and we had some good representation from Vancouver this week. Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver. Hey, guys. Thank you so much. All the way over there, way far. We're in Australia, so way far from us.
Beautiful part of the world, your city. A beautiful part of the world.
I'm yet to get over there. We'll get it. My wife and I will go over there at some point. You guys have been over there a couple of times.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely. We've been over a couple of times. We actually got engaged over there in Canada.
Hey!
Yeah, that's
nice.
A few years ago.
Nothing special. We just went to Europe and we've been to Japan. All right, so the topics today are China's 13th 5-year plan and why we should actually give a shit. China's long-term policy. Everyone is an entrepreneur. Creativity for the masses. That is number 2. Number 3 is blockchain technology is an audit and truth-based measurement tool.
Yeah, so Chad, look, where do we start? Let's start with what is the 5-year plan. So China's 5-year plan, now, naturally, they come out with one of these every 5 years. They've been doing it since 1953.
That's novel. Wow. Okay.
Since 19...
Does that math add up? Did you do the maths? Does that add up?
No, it doesn't.
No,
so the first,
I didn't.
No, it doesn't. So they've done a few over the years, and they tend to be more consistent now as they have more international influence. They've been better at being able to be more consistent with these 5-year plans.
Right.
So as you said, we're up to the 13th 5-year plan.
Yep.
It's a lucky number in China, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the 13th plan is from 2016 to 2020. Now, the interesting thing, and the reason it's sort of up as a topic now, is they have a whole heap of things they're looking to announce. And naturally, this is the time in that whole 5-year plan, now that we're a couple of years in, where they're starting to even look at being long-term thinkers as a nation. They are looking to start at the 21 through to the 2025 plan.
Yeah.
And so in this 13th plan, they've talked about things like innovation. They're looking at moving up the value chain by abandoning old heavy industries and building up bases of modern information-intensive infrastructure.
Okay, so they're going online and they're going to take a lot of their sort of probably factory-based stuff, or at least they'll work away, and they're going to go into sort of what we're talking about, blockchain and that kind of stuff.
Yep. So they're looking at balancing. So they're looking at welfare gaps. Mm-hmm. They're looking at greening. So they're looking at environmental technologies, etc. Yep. They're looking at opening up. So deeper participation in supranational power structures. So that means the opening up how they are able to communicate. Because despite their length of time, they still have quite a tight grip.
Let's be honest now. If you guys don't know the background of China, it's a great backstory. They've got an amazing backstory. It goes about 8,000 years ago. They sort of started, and they came up with firecrackers, as far as I'm aware. So
the art of war too.
The art of war, Sun Tzu. No,
Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. I got the other. I probably swore in Chinese. I'll be honest. I probably swore just then. Also, they
feel free to
sharing...
call in, guys, and let us know whether he did.
Yeah, please call in at 0000.
Or just swear at him. Either one doesn't matter. We won't.
Just hit that like button. I'm sure that we'll take that as a compliment on YouTube. If you hit that like button, we'll take that.
If you
as
like Chad swearing in Chinese, hit that.
Swearing in Chinese, hit that like button. Also, they're going to share. So they're encouraging people of China to share the fruits of the economic growth to bridge the welfare gap. A big thing about China, before you go into the next one, because I know there's policies here. Thing about China is we were discussing before we started recording that it's interesting in China they had that one-child policy, which is part of their policies they're actually changing for this next 5 years.
Tell us about it. What are they doing, Jan?
Well, okay, so everyone kind of is fairly aware that they had a one-child policy, one child per family policy, and that's great to keep down the costs of.
Did you know they had a very large increase in homosexuality?
Okay, that's good facts. As
a result of their one-child policy.
Well, that makes sense because there was a lot of boys.
So they
because everyone wanted boys, no one wanted girls because you couldn't do anything. But the point of that is that as we've gone, that has become more apparent as people are retiring, they are being supported by that one child. So if you think about it, the entire population above the age of, say, 50 or 60, there's two of them and one of the child. So if the child is there, so you actually have half of the population or 1/3 of the population supporting the other 2/3 of the population. Now they're introducing in
that doesn't sound like a great mass problem, Chad.
No, it's 2/1, and that's not great. It's not great at all.
So what are they going to do to fix it? Or
well, they're actually introducing
attempt to curb it.
Well, I think I'm not quoting. This is paraphrasing someone that you won't even hear me say because I don't know who they are. But someone really smart, smarter than me, said that they're actually going to see an economic downturn. That's what they predicted because of the fact that there's not as many people in the workforce and more people retired. So they've now changed it to 2-children policy, which is still restrictive. Because I'm sure there's a bunch of parents out there now that would like a family, like a big family, like you and I come from 2, and that makes sense. But to us, but to other people, like 6 people. Mum and Dad came from 3 each.
Like any Chad, there's always loopholes to these things.
Yes,
and so you will find
just claim as a cousin or put them in a different country.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So there are definitely people who have endeavored to get around those rules, even when it was a one-child policy.
Of course, because come on, everyone wants to game the system. That's the point of gaming the system. Of having a system is to game it, I thought. That's why cryptocurrency was involved and invented. Another one is economic. The economy needs a rule of law. So I think that has something to do with blockchain.
I think this is, and again, Chad, I can see that there's a few governing aspects. I mean, they've also talked about everyone is an entrepreneur and creativity of the masses. Now, this is a big thing because if they're, as you've got, so another document that we were looking at is some highlights that are of this particular plan. This was a while back when they actually created this document, but it's interesting how some of the things carried through. So they're looking at being able to extend the wealth into the wider economy. So they were talking about wealth gaps. Well, how do they do that? They need to ensure that more people get access to things. So about 4 or 6 years ago, they told the regular population, hey guys, we think gold is a good investment.
Nice.
As the populace. And there were some big ad campaigns for them to grow their wealth by acquiring that at a individual level, and the gold sales went up quite significantly.
Now, again, before we started recording, I actually looked up because again, I'm ignorant. I wanted to find out if China was still a communist country. It is, however, they have capitalism. They have lots of capitalism there.
Yes, and the capitalists in America do socialism quite well. So topsy-turvy world.
And then another part of their policy that is interesting is the national defense reform, which means that they're going to get a higher number of generals, and that means they're going to focus their policy on defense as well, which is interesting. In light of what's happened recently with sort of North Korea and stuff.
And look, guys, the reason we bring this up is because as we move into this next period, and we're talking about the 13th one, but as we move forward with the 5-year plans, as soon as that language changes and specific words come out like Bitcoin, blockchain, Ethereum, as soon as these words get written into these policies, you can be so assured that they're telling the populace in their country, "Hey, buy like crazy."
And they're going to be weird about it too. They're going to be like, buy, say, gold, buy silver, buy copper, buy whatever, buy coal. They bought a lot of coal from Australia. Go ahead and buy a bunch of this stuff. So they're going to go buy Bitcoin, buy Litecoin, buy Ethereum, buy Dogcoin. If they buy Dogcoin, I'm in the money.
Doge. So about 70% of Litecoin sales were coming out of China, which is why we see a really low volume at the moment in Litecoin, as people are sort of holding off because there's been obviously a restriction. And the interesting thing is that the restriction that's happened, and we talked about it a couple of several podcasts ago about the FUD that was coming out of China. Now it is FUD on the surface level, because what they wanted to do is drive down the price so that they could buy it up cheaper. Okay. However, they also told the people who were miners, hey guys, don't leave the country, don't go anywhere, just hold your horses. They also closed down a couple of the exchanges. But these people are all just sitting on the sideline waiting.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
For a few announcements to come in October.
Okay. So we're currently in October.
Mm-hmm.
So what is happening? Do we know?
No. And this is the key, Chad. So all I'm making people aware is that as we look at some of the things that they've talked about and some of the language they've had carry through from their previous plan, as they move forward, they're going to teach and educate their populace on how to be better at getting into the crypto space, because they had all these people jumping into ICOs, giving away their private keys, taking money off people, and it was just a real Wild West for about 12 to 18 months in China.
When was that? When did that happen?
Well, this is only all sort of happened. That was why we had the downturn, the dip in Bitcoin. You know, that's why we've had that pullback, is because some of these people have taken their money off the table, and these whales have gone, you know what, I'm not dipping my toe in that. I'm just going to hang because I can see a 30 to 40% pullback, and they got it. And so now we're into this next up leg and this uptick.
Now,
and that's,
can I just say real quick?
You don't have to raise your hand, Jan.
No, I'm going to do that anyway, just visually for everyone. First off, we got to remember, there is 3 billion Chinese people. 3 billion. That is half the population on this planet.
Are you sure that's the case?
Is it not 3 billion?
No.
How many is it?
You Google it, and we'll come
I'll
back
Google
to
it, and you fill in space.
Okay, no, I don't need to fill in space.
China.
So then the next bit then is what we're looking at is, as we extend on, some of the other things that they're looking at is financial reform. So they're looking at improving how they deal with trading and stocks. And another part is that they're looking at cyber economy. So they're looking at expanding their Internet Plus, which is their One Road program, the Silk Road, the old Silk Road being updated. And that's all going to need infrastructure, where they're looking to bring 2 billion people online in that region. And that's across places like India, and also Russia. And there's some big economic centers coming out of there. But more importantly, they're looking to diverse from the US dollar. Okay. Now, this is
they want to go to the, what is it? How do you pronounce it? Yuan?
One, as in
one.
Like O-N-E. But
that's easy to remember. I have a 1. I have 2 1. I have 3 1. That's super easy to remember.
What do you say when you've got 1 1?
1 1. Can I have 1 1? Can I have 2 1? 2 1, 3 1. That's like the old trick that they used to say. So I will correct myself. It was 1.379 billion.
Good, Chad. Well done.
So with 1.379 billion, that's a lot of people. So okay, let's say I said half. What I was actually saying was like 1/6 of the population of the planet, right? So I've got an article here from Wired that was 2015. It makes a good philosophical view of what is actually happened. So you go to like say you go to a secondhand store. You know what? A lot of stores have products made where, Brett?
I'm going to have...
Just guess.
Can I phone a friend?
I'll give you three.
Yeah, go. That'll be good.
Where are they made? Mainly.
I'm guessing Taiwan?
Yes. Also?
Vietnam?
Okay, can you say the one that I want you to say so I can move on with this?
China.
Yes, so China. And in China, they've been making so much stuff that they've been reverse engineering stuff, like computer games. All this stuff, right? Technology and stuff. That has actually developed itself into an industry, right? That industry is now become from a bunch of copycats and reverse engineers into forward engineers, and it becomes a hub of innovation, which for the blockchain means what, Brett?
I don't know, Chad, tell me.
It means a bunch of people who are smarter than you and me are going to be typing in Chinese and making stuff for the blockchain that will make it worth more and more and more to be on these particular things. They'll also have more coins that they're making, more tokens they're making, which means that the entire industry, the entire investment world of the crypto space is going to go up and up and up and up and up. And that, my friend, is exactly why China is something we should watch with our eyes, our ears, and our wallets.
And as Gerald Celente would say, China is the big one.
It is the big one, absolutely. Both in mass, both in population.
Well, actually,
and
he said
technology.
buy and sell China. He said buy and sell China. Lindsey Williams, he was the one who said China's the big one. So, look, the other thing that brings it round to, and this is the big thing about blockchain technology, is we were talking about audit versus truth-based measurement tools. Now, there's a few things that are already written into their 13th plan that they want to control. And you got to realize that, like you said, there's 1.37 billion people. That's a few people to keep an eye on, right?
Yes.
And so then if you can go ahead and you can create a mechanism by where you have truth and clarity in your reporting for simplistic things like environmental temperatures or, say your food and, your food stalls and things like that, HACCP. Yep. You might have some sort of standard of practice there. Mm-hmm. You might have stringent policies around how they do cultivation of land. So all of these things can be stored. The information of those aspects can be stored on the blockchain. Now, I don't know what platform they're going to use.
Yeah,
it might be Neo.
Well, if they can control weapons, I'm sure they can chuck a bunch of things.
It might be
on.
EOS. There are a number of cryptocurrencies that might be used for this. Or they might just create their own super intranet style.
Yes, I think it's going to be that, because you want to build a blockchain that not only you can invest in, you can stick a bunch of information on. Well, the blockchain is the best thing in the world. Did you mention something about them centralizing something?
Well, look, that was something that we talked about in the pre-discussion. That was, from my perspective, I can see that they would create something of an intranet style centralized blockchain that had some of this information on there, maybe protected by some sort of cryptography over a layer of cryptography, which is, like you said, they're engineering these skills and they've been practicing and testing this. In January, they bought out a blockchain, or they tested a blockchain product to just see how they would go. And it's just simple things like they're looking, here it says, a new urbanization method will be focused on improving livelihood and deepening reform on household registration system. Just like there is so many things that you can see them using on blockchain technology in the not too distant future. And here's, like you said, Chad, the point is if they turn around and say, look, we want to use blockchain technology for this, and this. You imagine even if they say one of those things.
Yeah.
That increases the value of the blockchain.
And that's my last thing. That's the thing I think I want to leave on is that, one, you said follow China. Solid advice. Number two, if 1.397 billion people just go, let's buy some cryptocurrency today.
I knew where you were going then. You were going to quote Robin Williams.
I was going to quote Robin Williams, the late great Robin Williams, because he's amazing. But if they just, if 1.397 billion go and they put their money on one coin, say it's the, how do you say the dog coin? How do you say?
Doge.
Dogecoin. If they put, and it's currently sitting at around 0.04 US cents, US dollars. If they all went, you know what, let's go buy the Dogecoin, that coin, it's going to be better than Bitcoin. So just watch what they're investing in. Go for your life. Godspeed. We love you. Hey folks, sorry, past Brett and past Chad. It's future Chad here. I just wanted to jump in real quick to talk about Vertcoin. Brett and I had been discussing Vertcoin for the last sort of month, and in about mid-September, it was at 46 US cents. It's currently sitting at 162 US cents as per me recording this now. But I did actually reach a top of $1.73 US cents. So the reason why we want to mention this is the kind of coin. This is the coin that's going to be used for the atomic swaps. They did it successfully, so that's something that we wanted to mention for this week. But obviously, we didn't have a chance to say it in the normal show. But I'll let you get back to the normal thing. Thanks, Chad, for sounding great. All right. Well, thanks, guys, so much for listening. Like us once, comment twice, and share this with your friends. Say hi. The only way we don't advertise on anything else. If you guys want to show someone else, there was a good. We did an episode only about a couple of episodes ago, which was a good jumping in point for anybody who wants to just sort of be up to get some knowledge. Like, Dad's still asking me questions, and I keep going, Dad, just go to that one. Go to that one. And he says, stop yelling at me over the phone. It's really distorted. Also, click subscribe to this podcast to get your weekly podcast updates from us knuckleheads. And you'll get it in your podcast feed every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But until next time, I'm Chad.
And I'm Brett.
Let's get excited about the crypto space.
The transition has begun.
You know, I was actually going to say, I now, after recording that podcast, feel like Chinese food.